Donald Trump was born on June 14th, 1946. He has a very unique and powerful chart. We're using the sidereal 13-sign zodiac system to analyze this, but you can see that his sun is opposing the moon here, which is a full moon. But not only was it a full moon that he was born on, he was born on a total lunar eclipse. And that's where the moon will be close to one of the lunar nodes, which is, within 1 degree in this birth chart. So not only was he born on a full moon, but he was born on a total lunar eclipse. So let's take a look at what does this mean. Being born on a full moon as well as a total lunar eclipse is also called a blood moon. And it's called that because of the reddish color that the moon takes on during this eclipse process. And it's considered a full moon on steroids. So that means it's very powerful. The moon is associated with the emotions, and it's also associated as a regulator of the earth. And so not only does it, affect the emotional, state of a person and how they react to things, but it also controls, like the tides and the birth process and, planting cycles in farming. And so it's very important to the earth as a regulator. And so when you have a total lunar eclipse, what's happening is that even though there's a full moon, which is very powerful in a person's chart, but that eclipse will cause it to be more unpredictable in its nature. It tends to create, sudden beginnings and endings. That person can be, highly emotional, rapid developments, a lot of beginnings and endings. Significant change just kind of comes out of the blue. Those sorts of things. That's the potential of a person with a full moon and a total lunar eclipse at the time of birth. We know from Trump's first presidency that he's a very high energy person, and that's what a full moon in a person's chart will do. Is they tend to be very high energy people. They want to get things done, and they want to make certain changes. And his moon is also in the 4th house, so that indicates a love for the homeland, the motherland. And so, his whole theme, his whole campaign are centered around make America great again, So, that's completely characteristic of that 4th house moon. In his second term, expect Trump to, really go through and implement new programs, new novel ideas about things and approaches. He's not afraid to slash or eliminate things that aren't working. He's very, very interested in, improving and strengthening the sovereignty of the United States. That's very big. And so that's going to control things like improving, the financial positioning of the United States in the world, and strengthening the dollar or whatever financial system they, transition towards. He's a very big supporter of technology, like even a digital dollar. He's looking at that very closely, and that's probably going to transpire in his presidency, that we'll probably move towards a more digital financial system. And he has Uranus conjunct his sun. So Uranus, a lot of inventors have Uranus. That's very strong in their chart. It's a new, non-status quo kind of, approach to things. So that's what Uranus produces. And so he's got that in his chart. So that's why he's not afraid to adapt new technologies, and he's also not afraid to really, push, the U.S. into the space race. And during his first presidency, he, created the Space Corps. So expect, events in the development and, um, use of space to really move forward in his presidency. He'll be very supportive of anything that in that regard. He'll, try to improve manufacturing output. Especially like example oil. He says drill, baby, drill. So, he wants to improve our production output, and he wants to, put tariffs in places and, um, to try to support his foreign policy to strengthen and realign the United States. So you're going to see a lot of activity in those regards.